Welcome to the Blue Cafe. From our family to yours. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We hope you all get through it. Now, onto the story. Saw my ex's AP in public and it was great. Progress. I spent last night at my in-laws to celebrate Christmas with my son and his cousins because my ex doesn't want to be around them. He thinks they took sides lol. His AP lives in a nearby town, and it just happens to be where I always stop for coffee on the way home cause it's right off an exit. Of course I walk in and she's sitting there, talking animatedly to a friend. Holy shit, the look on her face was priceless when she saw me. Deer in the ducking headlights. Went totally silent. By the time I ordered and grabbed my coffee, she and her friend were gone. My STB ex-husband had an affair with her while I was pregnant. She knew. And they just made their relationship public, as a reaction to me filing for full custody due to his alcoholism. Obviously the blame is on my husband, but if that's all I know about her, it's enough to know what kind of person she is. I never thought I'd ever be able to be in the same room as her. I thought it would make me physically sick to see her in person. But seeing that reaction in her just made me feel so good about myself. I will never have to look at a man's wife and feel what she felt when she saw me. And it wasn't shame. It was fear. It was her realizing I'm a real person getting through this and doing real person things. That I could say real person things to her. That I'm not a sad little divorcee curled up in a ball at home avoiding the world. She's afraid of me. She's a coward. And I'm not. I always thought, if I saw her in public, I would be the one who got the duck out of there as soon as possible. I didn't even feel an urge to leave at all. It just feels so good. Tonight sucks a big old butt. Post-separation about 6 months from D-Day, 4 from North Carolina. My parents were abusive, so I was closer to her in-laws than I was my own family. Every Christmas the in-laws would stay with us, her and I would get pajamas on Christmas Eve, have a nice dinner, and then wake up to very thoughtful presents. I loved her family, they were so caring and thoughtful, and all of my best Christmas days were with them or my now deceased grandfather. I'd wake up early, put on Die Hard and cook for the family all day. I really never had enjoyed Christmas so much. And then she blew up my life. And these people I counted as family ditched me, of course, as easily as she did. I hate how easy it is for these people to just leave anyone behind. And I know now how it runs in the family to find wounded people that will love you without expecting anything in return. I'm here to say, just survive. Advice for all those going through yet another holiday season: hang tough. It's almost over. Feeling sad, sharing a thought. Rant. Alone this Christmas when the clock strikes 12, working 8:30 p.m. tomorrow and Boxing Day, will see my ex who cheated, feeling somewhat defeated, but some tiny part of me refuses to wallow. Merry Christmas to everyone who reads this. There will be better days ahead. My parents don't date each other. First, my parents taught us very well and I love them both. They've been a great pair of parents to me and my siblings. All of us are all grown-ups. Me and my siblings are in a relationship, so it's just normal to see our partners every now and then. Today, all of us are going out in a date. When she found this out, my mother suddenly blurted her feelings that she feels left alone. I explained to her that she and my father should have their own date today, but she doesn't like the idea. Here's the deal between the two of them. When I was in my teens, my dad committed a mistake to my mom. While he was out with his friends in a bar, Mom called but a woman answered the phone. They had a huge fight about it but did not separate. This was also the time when he used to go out with his friends most days and drink. My father stopped drinking when our business slowly died. He stopped seeing his friends, but after the incident, I think a part of my mom died. Since then, I haven't felt any sweetness between them. They never hugged each other nor held each other's hands. I don't know if they talked behind closed doors. I feel like they're just best friends being comfortable with one another. It hurts me seeing them this way, as my and my partner's siblings all treat us well and are very sweet to us. It's because of my partner that I learned how to be more open with words and touch in expressing how much I love them. I came from a family who are not very much wordy with their love, but I know that they love me through their actions. It's just that it seems my parents are just housemates. Not even roommates, as they sleep in separate rooms. This is for another story. I got to pretend that she didn't cheat on me and isn't leaving me at her family's Christmas Eve dinner tonight. Rant. Yeah, I got to pretend like it was all fine. She called me honey in front of her family. We watched our kid open presents. I got to think this is what I wanted in life one last time while they all talked about all the things they want to do for Christmas Eve next year. We're not divorcing until March, and neither of us can afford to move out of our current home, for context. Also for context, she met someone different and fell in love over a 2-week period of time, the second time she's fallen in love with someone else in a year's time, the 5th person she's had unprotected sex in the same window, deciding that she wants a divorce. She doesn't want anyone to know yet, and didn't want to hurt our son's Christmas. So she's happy, she's getting rid of what she doesn't like anymore, while I get to realize it's my last time I'm ever going to spend a holiday with the only people that even make up my family anymore, since my father is my only living relative on my side. So I got really drunk. She could tell something was bothering me and pushed me for an answer, and I told her that I'm trying to find a way to make tonight a good memory, so I have one last memory of the life I wanted and lost. She told me she wasn't going to feel guilty all night and went into a different room to be away from me. I'm supposed to be able to hate her, to not want her around, to want better for myself, all sorts of things. I'm supposed to be able to understand that she's not who I fell in love with anymore, that that person doesn't exist. I've lost people before. My grandmother to cancer, my grandfather to a head injury, my mother to intentional overdose. I've never felt grief like this. I've never had to deal with something so logistically challenging before. I don't want to live without the person I thought I loved, and I have to because of how much I love my son. How long can someone live with 100% desire to stop living and 100% desire to keep living? I don't see a way to do it, and I have to. I don't want to, but I could never leave my son. The person's value I trust most has determined me as valueless, but I'm supposed to believe my son is better off with me as his father. I'm too ducking confused and I can't wake up from this nightmare. All I want to do is finish this last bottle of wine and sleep in my car and hopefully black out and freeze. At least I'll have tonight to dream about. Edit, goodness, so much support, thank you all. I couldn't possibly reply to everyone individually, but I will try as the day goes on. I slept inside last night, in my bed. I stayed warm. I didn't black out or anything. Got up with my son and we watched him open his presents from us this morning. When he goes to his grandparents with my STBXW later, he'll be opening up grandparent presents, so it's not too big of a deal to miss that. I'm going to find a way to communicate to them that I appreciate what they've done for us, and me individually. That I wish nothing had to change with us and I truly looked at them as family. I'm not going to drink again unless it's social drinking. I don't usually drink anyway. Probably why 2 bottles of wine had me hammered, lol. I have always struggled with self-image and confidence. I would be in a much better spot if I cultivated those aspects of myself before dating, let alone putting how I view myself in anyone else's hands. I do plan on getting a therapist. I've been working on what my budget will look like after she is gone. I think I should be able to afford it. It's important. I am building my friend network up again, and reconnecting with people who love and care about me. I met a guy recently who has been extremely caring and supportive. I've gone to an arcade and a theater with him recently, First times I've gotten out of this house for fun in probably 2 solid years. He pointed out how tense and stressed I seem when we first get together, and how by the time he's taking me home, he can see how calm and comfortable I feel. He's right, it does a world of difference for me. Just a note, completely platonic, he's in a relationship and I'm not getting started with anyone for a long while, especially not with someone in a relationship. Holy shit, that would be some hypocrisy, lol. I've read every comment posted at the time I write this. Thank you all again for your words and insights. Even the tough love stuff. Change has always been extremely difficult for me, but I've survived some real shit. I always credited her as why I could handle so much, but in reality it's just because I'm a strong person when I let myself be. I need to really remember that. I was kind of suspicious that my friend's husband was cheating on her. This morning, I basically got confirmation that I was right. What do? I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. 2 years ago, on Halloween, I was out at the bar, pre-COVID, with some friends, including my roommates, a married couple. The wife left early, she always does, and husband stayed. One of his co-workers had her tongue basically in his ear the whole time. He left. Co-worker disappeared too. I didn't think anything of it. Until he showed back up with her about 2 hours later. I cornered him the next day, and said I know what I saw, and I could be wrong. But specified that what I saw looked really ducking bad and I better not learn that my suspicions were correct. I've never seen a man's eyes get so wide and scared. Fast forward to today, I no longer live with them, but we had a little Christmas get-together last night. My husband and I left early, but apparently everyone fell asleep in front of the TV, excluding wife. She went back upstairs to bed. One of our mutual friends was amongst the group that fell asleep on the couch. She thought she heard kissing noises and when she sat up, she heard oh shit, she's awake. Husband was in his boxers, not the case when everyone fell asleep. The chick, neuter to our friend group, also was drunk and said that he had gotten a hotel room with above-mentioned co-worker in the past. I was right. I cannot sleep. I do not want to ruin Christmas or a marriage, but I cannot stop thinking about it. Wife is one of my best friends. I do not want to be the one to break the news, but I also don't want her to find out on her own. What TF do I do? I was cheated on and broken up with through WhatsApp after almost 7 years of relationship. 2 years later I'm starting to process it. Need support. I hid my feelings for almost 2 years, and lived the trauma through nightmares. For some reason I couldn't access the traumatic feelings when I was awake. I was able to talk about what happened and felt some degree of emotion towards it, but I felt like my subconscious was blocking a lot of the feelings. Now, on Christmas Eve and after visiting a place that reminded me of what happened, I find myself crying about it involuntarily for the first time. It is so painful. It is one of the worst types of betrayal. It's affecting my current relationship with my boyfriend because I can't trust this won't happen again. I trusted my ex with my life and he cheated on me and left me at my lowest. I feel rage, sadness, mistrust. Why would anyone do that? How am I supposed to believe in love when this happened? Thank you for reading. It is painful. Alone or with his family. Need support. My husband and I eloped last April before our daughter was born. We just had our wedding with family and friends in October. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. 3 weeks later he tells me he's unhappy and has been for a year. Shortly after I find the texts with his co-worker, a woman in HR. He blames me. He says if he hadn't been so lonely and unhappy it never would have happened. It's all my fault. He doesn't give a shit about her, but definitely doesn't like me. I'm the toxic partner. I made him feel trapped. And he never told me because he wanted to keep the peace. He wants me to go with him to his family Christmas today. So what? I can say bye to everyone? So I can spend the day feeling the weight of everything that's a lie and is rapidly coming to an end. Our daughter is 20 months old, so she won't remember either way. What would you do? Feeling really bad about Christmas even though I know I shouldn't. Need support. My ex-husband and I divorced after he had cheated and lied for a year or more. I guess his AP didn't leave her husband for him. Now he's at home sick, and I feel really sad for him even though I know I shouldn't. I know he's in a bad place and very alone. Please convince me not to feel bad. I want to enjoy Christmas guilt-free with my kids. Why does she want to be honest now and fight for our marriage now? Ran 10 SFW. So together 11 years, married 6. She cheated and acted like a total scumbag. I went no contact and was kind of pulling my life back together a bit. Her lawyer reaches out to mine that she is willing to sign whatever agreement I want if I am willing to sit down and talk to her for closure. In my state, if you are male, you just get screwed in the divorce no matter what the story is. So I agree because I just want my daughter and I know there is almost no way I get custody of her otherwise. So she is a crying mess and I am just getting more angry as the conversation goes on. She goes into the whole "I am so sorry, I wanna save us, I will do anything, you are the only one I have ever loved, don't stop fighting for us, act." She gave me a folder that has a whole timeline that is sitting in the trunk of my car. Considering burning the car so I never have to touch it again. I feel like, where was this a year ago? Where was this 4 months ago when I was getting gaslighted and told everything was in my head? Where was this when you were screwing AP and who knows how many other people at your swinger parties? Can any partners that committed affairs explain why? Why even bother? Just go be with him, he is single. Is it that she wants to duck with my head more? I feel like I used to know her and she seems sincere, but I just don't care. Why not just own your scumbaggery? Christmas wish or no? Advice. I was left with no warning and told I would be called in an hour. I was never called. It's been several weeks if no contact and I have so many questions that bug me every day. I want to reach out and say all I want for Christmas is to meet and talk, no arguing. Is this the worst idea ever? I'm not thinking I'm going to change her mind, or reconnect, or have some grand agenda. I just feel so bottled up being left for dead. I know I'd never trust her again, but I feel like I'm swimming in the middle of the ocean with no indication of which direction to go, or if I'll even survive. Would love advice, especially if someone has reached out after several weeks before and been able to have a reasonable talk. For background, she is dating OM but telling everyone he's way too old, and it's not like that. I don't believe that, but others do. She's also rewritten our history to be the victim and to make it appear this guy came after we separated, and we had no choice because things were bad, which is not true. Need advice. I believe my window to meet her is probably only tonight, as tomorrow she will have plans and I do as well. Then she'll be taking off back to Fantasyland at the beach. Is this cheating? Suspicion. So I have been sus of my husband's co-worker for a long time. He is working more hours, he was trying to keep us apart. He had a Christmas do with her on the 14th and said he wouldn't be back late. I woke up at 1 a.m. and he was still missing, so I texted him asking if he was okay. He came home immediately and from the flat next door. I asked him who was staying over in the spare flat next door and he said a male co-worker. It wasn't. It was her. Before he went to sleep he texted her and deleted the message he sent. She texted back, "I miss you too. Get some sleep." I went to London on the 17th December and he was desperate to know when I would get home. I waited until I was 5 minutes away, and when I got back she was in her car in the car park an hour and a half after her shift finished. Husband and I live on site. Roll on to last night. He was working late wrapping my Christmas presents. I took the dog out and saw her car in the car park. I snuck around the back of the club and saw them cuddling behind the bar. She was stroking his hair, his back and his waist. He wasn't doing it to her, but he was not telling her to stop either. They only stopped when she spotted me. He says she was comforting him because of our marriage issues. I think it's inappropriate behavior. What do you think? Struggling. Rant. D-Day was in August and my divorce is final next week. I am really struggling with the holidays right now. Yesterday I packed moving boxes of my soon-to-be ex-husband's things, and started packing up half of my daughter's things. I got very drunk and called the AP and left her the most horrible voicemail and texted her some terrible things too. I sent screenshots of the messages she sent to my husband and told her to never forget what she is capable of, and that she's so woefully ordinary. I've contacted her 3 times since this started, once on D-Day, once when I found out they met up again, and last night. The first 2 were warranted, but last night wasn't necessarily. I was upset that she has no consequences. Her family is intact. I deleted her contact info from my phone last night. I feel awful and humiliated today because it isn't my personality to lash out. I'm just really hurting that my life as I knew it is over. I am going to stop drinking for a while because I need to heal in better ways. I am usually so strong, but the holidays are making it worse. I just wish cheaters could feel our pain for even a split second. I ducking hate Christmas. Rant. My STBXW started an emotional affair around September. We have filed for divorce together but have to live together until the final court date, which won't be until late February/early March. At the advice of legal consultations, I am staying in the house until our 50-50 custody is final and I get my money from the home refinance. I agreed that the baby would wake up here at home today so we could both see her open her gifts. Walking by, I see a text on my STBXW phone from her AP. Instead of ignoring, I say, "I saw your text from him. It's disrespectful AF that you would be texting him when you're with me and your daughter." This led to a talk where I, against my better logic, asked her what made her go outside of our marriage. It came down to I was insensitive, because she had insomnia. She would literally slap the bed hard AF while I'm in a deep sleep. WTF am I supposed to do? Because you can't sleep, I'm not supposed to sleep either? She named one time when she wanted to go out on a date and I wanted to stay home, and she said we hardly talked about emotions and her day at work. She said I didn't do anything really wrong, like hurt her or sleep with other women, she just wasn't happy and didn't feel like I liked her exact words. So in essence, she got bored and sought after male attention from another man. The real kicker is that she finally admitted to sleeping with him, which she never did before. She said she didn't sleep with him until the papers were filed and she figured I was really done with her, even though I figured it got physical way before that, hence me initiating the divorce. I ducking hate Christmas because a few years ago my grandma passed away 2 days before Christmas and now I'm going through this shit. I waited for her to take the baby to her parents to open gifts with them, and then I broke down. I felt like I was healing so well and it all came rushing back today. Found out a week ago and I've been a constant wreck. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. Story. Just looking to feel something other than pain, so I thought I'd share here. Last weekend, my wife of 8 years confessed to a year-long physical affair that coincided with her starting work outside of the home for the first time in our marriage. I had always suspected because all of a sudden her girlfriends and her were going out every weekend while I stayed with the kids. This was all lies, of course. Anyways, she was very remorseful the next Monday, saying she would do anything to keep our family together and would consider therapy, that we can work through this, etc. She kept telling me how much she loved me. Then as the week wore on, she seemed to change. Yesterday, I discovered they were still talking. I am just a wreck because I loved her so much, and I thought we were forever and would grow old together. And I'm confused as she seemed to want to stay but now has seemingly flipped. It all just adds up to a big ball of pain and suffering for me. Thank goodness for AI, hoping it makes deleting all those old photos of you together so much easier. Merry Christmas. My wife cheated on me, but I cheated on her too. So I have bit of a problem. I found out that my wife is cheating on me. What is worst, it wasn't just physical cheating but emotional too. She was often mad at me for no reason, and now I know it was because of this. Problem is, I don't know how I should react. I was sleeping with someone else too. I know it is needed from time to time. What bugs me is that she let things be personal which affected our relationship badly and was so lazy to hide it properly. She don't know about my affairs, so why I must know about hers? What should I do? Was I cheated on by my wife? OC advice. A few days ago, my wife showed me something on her phone, and when I looked down, a text notification popped up. It was a man's name and he was telling her a lot of emotional stuff like, "I think about you often," etc. I immediately asked her who that was and what it was about. She told me he was just a friend that might have a thing for her. She insisted it was innocent and that she never lets it go too far. I demanded to know more, and soon I found out it was an ex. We have explicit rules about disclosing relationships and meetings with exes, so right off the bat, this was troubling and she knew she had betrayed my trust. I asked to see the messages and she obliged. They were not innocent messages. The two of them were beyond flirtatious. They exchanged heart and kiss emojis, they made sexual innuendos, they even told each other good night when going to bed. They would exchange selfies and pay one another compliments. She complimented him in ways that she never does me. She sent pictures of herself that I had never seen, and sent him photos of himself she had taken when they were together, so they could reminisce about time they had spent together. My heart sank to find out that she had kept up this secret text relationship for a year. I felt a knot in the pit of my stomach. She agreed that what she was doing was wrong, but she says she never cheated and that she would never. She says that she was only in it to feel wanted and pretty and that she was stringing him along for that purpose. I find it hard to believe because in the couple minutes I spent scrolling through their texts I saw her instigating the flirting and even saying she needed to be careful or she might get herself in trouble. To me this was a form of cheating. She had a secret relationship with an ex-lover in which she did things she knew were off limits to any married person. She agrees it was wrong, but says I am making too big of a deal out of it. What do you think? Additionally, I am now faced with the impossible decision of how to move forward. I feel like it will be hard to trust her moving forward. I'm worried this incident will change me into a suspicious and insecure husband and that little by little, over time it will ruin our relationship. If you have any advice regarding this fear, it is appreciated. For all my friends out there, let me tell you, things are good once you get out. Months after freeing yourself from toxicity, reality will completely rock your world and reset yourself beyond belief. Believe me, you'll be thankful you're still yourself. Merry Christmas, God bless. We hope you have enjoyed this holiday episode. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Cheers. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and to all a good night, or day. Wherever you are.